Howdy gamers, old gamer guy here. It's been a little while since my last video. I did some traveling, visited some family, had a great time. I also earned a little extra money doing some warehouse work, and so now I'm having fun shopping for guitars and related gear, but never mind all that. This is a video game channel, and this is Aliens Dark Descent. If you know anything about the Aliens universe, you know that aliens are quite often a problem, but they are not the only problem. Humans also tend to be a problem for themselves, and this story is no exception, because this shady character is releasing a dangerous specimen into this space station for some reason. Bad news, but meanwhile, elsewhere in the space station, an administrator is getting an alert about a weight discrepancy in the cargo bay, so we get our first gameplay as we press square to move along the corridor. And I'm going to skip past most of this early gameplay, but here we're going to run into a synthetic character who is pleasant enough at this point, but if you know these stories, you know that synthetic characters are often a problem. But she is on a mission to go check out her computer. You use the triangle button to interact with objects, and she is going to see some disturbing footage, but as you can tell, this is highly edited. This is about an hour of my gameplay, and I'm just going to be talking over this footage, talking about what I think. My first impressions of this hour, I can tell you so far they are very positive. So she goes to the security station, but they are not helpful at all. So she continues on to the cargo bay by herself. Here's a brief look at the map system. It looks very much like the maps in the Aliens movies when they pull those maps up on the computer screens and they're looking at the blueprints and all that. I love those movies, and I'm really enjoying this game so far. So she doesn't know what these empty egg-like containers mean, but I know what they mean, and I have a feeling you know what they mean. But she does know that something dangerous is there with her. Something bad is happening. And so she's going to try to get out of there, but as she moves toward the door, she sees this dead engineer guy here with a welder. And she knows exactly what to do with that welder. So we can loot this body and get the heck out of this room. You may remember doors being welded in the movie. And the welders are an interesting mechanic in the game, but unfortunately you're not really going to get to see that mechanic. She's going to weld this door shut here, but as you play the game, the main function of those welders is as you move through the levels, your Marines get stressed out and they need rest. And so if you come into a room with two doors and you have two welders, you can weld those doors shut and you can make yourself a little safe area where you can save your game and things like that. It's a pretty cool mechanic. But meanwhile, she is reporting all of this to her boss, but he is not believing it. And yeah, shortly after that, she is proven correct as face huggers flood the command center here. And our administrator main character just barely escapes. Well, I don't know that she's the main character exactly, but she's one of the main characters. So she goes back to the security station, and things are already accelerating over there. And she can see on the computer monitors that things are really accelerating all over the station. There is a ship attempting to leave, and so she decides to go to the bridge and activate the Cerberus system, which will lock down the solar system. And the synthetic character is there, and he's encouraging her to do this. He says she's doing the right thing.
Warning, 3 ships detected.
So she goes and she activates this system, and it's going to automatically open fire on any ships within a certain radius. And so she knows this is bad, and she's sorry, but this has to happen. And so she activates it, and it does its job. It totally destroys 2 of the 3 ships there in orbit. And the third one is a marine ship, so it's a bit tougher, but never mind that, because she realizes that one of the aliens is there in the room with her. These things sort of blend in with machinery. They were designed by an artist named H.R. Geiger, whose art often reflects that sort of aesthetic, a blending of the organic and the mechanical. It's very cool, kind of disturbing art, so check it out if you have never looked at his work. But here we have another major mechanic of the game, enemy detection. So you don't always want to fight. Your ammo is limited, your soldiers can be stressed out, so you don't want to engage every alien. So you can take cover in certain areas of the room, and then once you're in cover and you have that icon, you can press right on the digital pad to crouch down, and that makes you hidden from view. So this drone is going to walk into the room and not detect us, and we're going to try to sneak around the room and get out the door on the other side without being seen. So as you go through the missions, you have your iconic motion detector, and you also have these little indicators on the screen telling you, I guess that's like line of sight. So you want to avoid that. And you can have your characters walk or run to cover. Running is accomplished by double tapping square. So we are moving around the room. This is actually pretty easy here, but later on you have multiple signals on your motion detector and you're trying to move around and not necessarily fight with all of them, but right here it is mandatory, I think, for you to be seen. So you could see that the yellow line filled up with red, and then once that was full, then she was officially detected. But the good news is she is running into some Marines, and those Marines automatically open fire. And here we are going to start a good run in the video of unedited gameplay. So I'm going to let some of this just run without me talking, because I've just been talking nonstop since the beginning of the video here. But yeah, I'd like for you to get a taste of the atmosphere as they move around. All you need to know is that they move as a single unit, and they will automatically open fire if an enemy does appear. But I'm going to shut up and let this play a little bit.
Cerberus protocol in effect.
What the fuck is a Cerberus protocol?
No clue. Just keep it moving and watch those corners.
It's planetary quarantine. Nothing in, nothing out.
Sounds like a real party.
You okay, Sarge?
Eyes ahead. Something's coming.
Harper? We've got movement.
There it is, the iconic motion tracker, which will set off if there are enemies within 60 meters. And there you can see a zoomed in view.
Manning? Where are you going?
It's not safe here. It's not. Damn straight, but we'll get you out. No, you don't understand. It's here. It's here. Light it up.
Like I said before, they will automatically open fire at enemies when they are detected. They can also shoot while they are walking, but they cannot shoot while they are running. So you need to keep that in mind as you make your way through the levels, because once you're detected at a certain point, you're going to have to fight. You may get to run a little ways, but you're going to have to turn and fight and organize your defenses.
Use the grenade.
And speaking of that, here are some face huggers. You can open the skill menu with R2. And right now I only have the grenade launcher skill, but that will appear at the bottom of the screen. And then we can choose where to fire and then trigger the ability.
Squirrely bastards, ain't they?
All of those R2 skills cost command points. Those are here at the top of the screen, and they replenish slowly over time, but you do want to be careful during combat because you can easily run out of them, and then you're just kind of stuck with your basic guns firing, which is, you know, that's not nothing. Those the pulse rifles are serious business. We all know it. And we're going to get a demonstration of that actually here in a second, because we're going to get a demonstration of suppressive fire.
Suppressing fire and check your targets.
So we can tell on our motion tracker that something is approaching. So we can open the skill menu with R2 and then choose between our skills with L1 and R1. We have 2 skills to choose from now, and one of those is suppressive fire. It lowers our accuracy, but it also makes the alien approaching, it makes them go slower as they are running towards you, and you will see that here in a moment. But this is not an alien. This is the synthetic character we met earlier, and he was friendly earlier, but now he has pretty much decided that the Cerberus protocol should also apply to you. And so from this point forward, I guess the synthetics will also be your enemy. And you can see him running toward us. But we do manage to mow him down, sadly. And then we're just going to continue to the docking bay with our Marines here. And you'll get a quick look at a loading screen. This is on PS5. So obviously very fast loading times when you do have loading times at all. Takes me a second here to actually make the selection. There we go. Pressing the button, and there's the loading screen. So yeah, very fast. One of the definite perks of the new generation are those very, very fast loading screens. Meanwhile, we have discovered more carnage. There is another alien approaching, and they do manage to injure one of our people here, but don't worry, that was by design. They just want to show us that
What kind of blood
there
type
is a
that?
mechanic for
Keep your distance,
healing.
Marines. Latimer, you fit to move?
I'm not dying here.
All right, let's get off this damn station.
When you kill a xenomorph, there is a chance that they might explode with a burst of acid. And so, yeah, your people can be injured in a variety of ways. Like I said, though, your people can walk and shoot at the same time. So it's good sometimes to have them kind of backing away from the aliens as they are running towards you, because that will protect you from those acid bursts. But here is the healing mechanic. Like I said, you can interact with things with the triangle button, and that is context sensitive. So you can press interact on one of your other characters, and you can have them being healed. And then if there was a chest or something in the room that I wanted to search, I could hit triangle on that at the same time, and one of the other Marines would go and do that at the same time.
Gee, thanks.
So yeah, it's an interesting mechanic that they use to as you're going through the game and you're exploring, because you can have them searching several different places at the same time. Here we are encountering another alien, and we have another skill to mess around with. This is the shotgun,
They're too close.
and it takes me a second to navigate through this menu here. I think these menus are mostly pretty intuitive, but as you can see, several of my Marines have a shotgun, so I can switch between them and then choose which one is actually going to fire. And so that's what happened there. You can see our stress levels are building up there in the lower right-hand corner. And you can see that our command points are slowly regenerating. We're trying to leave the station. Like I said, one of the ships that was damaged by the Cerberus protocol was a Marine ship, and so these Marines were from that ship, and I guess they have a drop ship here on the station that we are trying to reach, so we can escape. But I feel like they did a really good job on the environments and the sounds and the music. Some of the voice work is a little bit up and down, but it's good enough, I would say. And overall, I would say they did a really good job on the presentation of this game.
Hell of a time for a migraine.
Seriously, Sarge? What's up with you?
Move now! We're in danger!
The Sarge has some kind of a weird psychic episode there, I guess. I guess that will be explained later on in the story. But for now, we are approaching our escape point. We have to hold off a final onslaught
We have to leave.
and protect ourselves until the dropship arrives to pick us up. And so we're going to use all of our abilities that we've learned so far. And at this point in the game, it looks like we can have a maximum of 3 command points at one time. I think eventually you can upgrade that stuff. And pretty early on, you get an ability that will automatically replenish those command points. So you can use all 3 and then use that ability, and then you'll have all 3 command points back again. But that ability to replenish them also has to recharge. So you do have to be somewhat judicious in how you deploy your various abilities. You can see we're using suppressive fire, and that suppressive fire ability, once it's activated, it stays active until you turn it off. So we took out the first wave with that suppressive fire. You can change in the settings whether you want the R2 menu to completely pause the game or to go into that slow motion mode. It's slow motion by default, but you can change it to completely pause the game if you need a little extra time to decide what you want to do. There I shot a grenade and didn't do it in a way that was very accurate, but it was good enough. The alien is getting close enough to do some damage, but we managed to finish them off with a shotgun. And so there we go. We are escaping from the space station. Once they're clear of the station, they can see the Marine ship being pummeled by the Cerberus missiles from the Cerberus protocol. And interestingly, this administrator character lies. She does not admit, at least initially, that she activated the Cerberus protocol. She did what she was supposed to do in terms of company rules, I guess. But never mind that for now. The Marine ship has taken a ton of damage and it has crashed onto the surface of this planet, but it is not destroyed. And this base is going to become, or this wrecked ship is going to become our base. And so this part reminds me a lot of the XCOM games, because we're going to have this ship as sort of a hub. And we're going to have a workshop that will allow us to research and unlock weaponry. We're going to have a laboratory that I assume will unlock things for us. We're going to have a sick bay for our injured Marines to recover. And then we also have the command deck to launch our next mission. So we're going to take a quick look at some of these areas here. Here are the medical quarters, and we have an injured Marine. So as long as we have a doctor available, we can assign them to work on a particular Marine. And as you go through the missions, you might rescue more physicians. Then we have our workshop where we can unlock our weaponry. I see incinerators and mines and RPGs and things like that in there. So that seems pretty cool. Then we have a laboratory over here with a company doctor, a company employee. So I don't know how to feel about that. I'm automatically suspicious of him, but I assume he's going to develop things for us as we recover alien tissue. Maybe he will upgrade our armor against the acid and things like that. But now, never mind all that, because now it is time to launch our first actual mission. And so notice we have 4 totally different Marines going out on this mission. There were surviving Marines in the crashed ship, and we have some supplies to take here. Tools, like those would be used for welding the doors shut. And then we have medikits, and you can recover more of those things as you play each mission. And one of the interesting things about this game is, so we're going out on this mission with these 4 Marines, but there are going to be more objectives to do than this one team will be able to accomplish, because we have limited ammo. They are going to get stressed out as we go along. So you do as many objectives as you can with a particular team, and then you try to extract them safely, if possible. Hopefully they're all alive when you extract them. And then you send in a fresh team to tackle whatever objectives you have left. It's a pretty cool mechanic in my estimation. And I think this game is very cool so far. My first impressions are very, very favorable as a fan of these movies. I've even read some of the novelizations of those movies. So yeah, I really like this universe, and I feel like they did a really good job presenting it here. Yeah, you can see the very cool dropship and the very cool ground vehicle. These areas are large enough that you can see we're deploying from the ground vehicle here, and then we're going to go inside, but eventually we might come back outside and we can call the ground vehicle over toward us, and it has a turret on top of it that will automatically fire at any enemies, and we would be using the ground vehicle to extract ourselves back to the dropship eventually. But we are approaching the end of my first hour of gameplay, and so we are approaching the end of the video, and you can probably tell that I really, really like this game. I think they did a great job on the presentation, and I think it's fun. I think it feels challenging also. You probably can't tell that from this footage, but playing through this initial area here, I'm probably, I don't know, maybe another hour or two into the game. I had to extract this group of Marines and send in another group of Marines, and I'm still not done with this level. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I haven't been able to play lately, so I'm definitely going to be loading up this game and trying to press on, but so far I'm really liking it. I'm going to shut up now and let you hear just a little bit more atmosphere before the end of the video. I will be making more videos soon. I don't really know what games those videos will involve, but I hope you have enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching.
On my way. Access granted.
Move on!
Hey Harper, no sign of movement from up here. Do you see anything?
Not a soul. Place is a real ghost town.
Don't you worry none, Sarge. You've got a squad of big, strong Marines to keep you safe.
Double time!
Don't get too comfy, okay?